Hello. Two things that I've been uh, watching and hearing have caught my attention, and they made me think about the narcissistic abuse that I went through. And then I made the connection between the two, and that sort of explained a little bit more about the tactics of that the narcissist used on me, and how the narcissist entrapment works. One of the things that I remembered was an audio book called Conversational Power by James K. Van Fleet. I guess that's the name. It's a self-help audiobook. I'm gonna put the link down here if you want to watch it. It was very helpful. I've been listening to it for years now. It gives you some insights about how to be more, how to empower yourself. Now, after narcissistic abuse, I realized that there's no the power that this audiobook talks about is kind of an unfair. It's more about there's a lot of manipulation tactics, not about personal power and assertiveness. Some of his advice is kind of manipulative. He teaches you to be manipulative. But I remember when he says, the author of this audiobook, I remember when he says, if you wanna influence somebody, one of the key elements to influence somebody and to win a person's friendship or favors and he says, if you wanna influence somebody and win a person's good graces and friendship and favors, find out what that person wants and give it to the person. Now you tell me if that's not manipulative. You are acting. So he's teaching us to consciously act with hidden motives behind this action. And I think that's not a real friendship or relationship. That's just subversive, underhanded, manipulative power over. Not personal power and an honest way to interact with people. And when I remembered this passage, I said, well, that's what narcissists love. That's what narcissists do. They did this to me. Not only the two narcs that I talk about here, but also other manipulative people that I met. They found out what I wanted and they gave it to me. And I naturally I began to like them. And it's very easy to figure us out, as victims. Narcissists, uh, we all know that they are good observers, good readers, and we are very easy to because we don't expect, especially when we don't know about narcissistic uh, personality disorders. It's very easy to figure us out and find out what makes us tick. And they do it. They found out. For example, for an emotional person like me, romantic, isn't it easy to figure out, okay, what does Dodge wants? He wants feelings. He wants romanticism. So the narcissist figured this out. That I was passionate, that I liked feelings, that I was romantic. And she gave it to me. She gave beautiful words, she gave compliments, she stroked my ego. She figured me out easily. Of course, not so easy. She had to interview me first, covertly. Just like James K. Van Fleet teaches in the Conversational Power. Figure out what the person wants, give it to the person, and the person will be yours. That's not what narcissists do. I don't have the courage to do this to somebody. Have this malice to say, okay, I want to get something from this person. What does she want? Oh, she wants this. Then I'm gonna give it to her so that she can give me something back. That's like Silence of the Lambs, quid pro quo. You do me things, I do you things. There's an exchange. There's no way that's not honesty. That's deceit. That's weakness. That's not assertiveness. That's manipulation. And you tell me that's conversational power. No, that's not. That's conversational manipulation. Amazingly enough, the other thing that I was watching that made me make the connection with this thing is a very funny comedy show, stand-up show made by Eddie Murphy a long time ago, maybe in the 80s, and it's called Raw. You can watch it on YouTube, and he talks about entrapment in relationships in a very funny way, but I think he says lots of truths in there. And it's sad truths. And one thing that he says that make the light bulb turn on in my head is when he says the example of a woman who denies to have sex with a man for a long time. So she makes you wait and wait and wait. So in a way, it can be a metaphor or an image to represent what the narcissists do. He promises, keep promising you, making you wait and wait and wait, and you never get what the promise is. The promises never come true. And Eddie Murphy says it's a trap. And but the trap is not only making you wait for something that never comes. Eddie Murphy says, in the case of the woman that he uses as an example, he says she makes you wait to have sex months, 3 months, 5 months. And then when finally you have it, you have the impression, my God, that's the best love, that I finally found love. That's the best sex that I had in my life. I finally found my soulmate, my love. And Eddie Murphy says that's not love. You were mistaken, because if you are starving for months and months, well, you cannot starve for months, I guess, but if you are starving and you receive a tiny biscuit, crumbles, you're gonna think to yourself, my God, that was the best biscuit that I ate in my life. This is amazing. This is great. And that's the entrapment. You get the crumbles, the, 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 the tiny bits of affection that the narcissist gives us, just to keep us interested in the relationship. Just enough to keep us there, entrapped. And we think, oh my God, this is the best love that I ever had in my life, that I will probably ever have. And we conform to the crumbles, to the tiny biscuits that he throws us, the miserable pieces of affection and attention or whatever that the narcissist gives us. Just enough to make us interested and not leave. And then if we stay, we keep on getting almost nothing. And if we leave, if we stay, we get almost nothing of affection and lots of abuse. And if we leave, we are going to suffer during the detox phase, because we have to, you suffer when you realize you are dealing with an arc, and then you suffer because you crave, and then you have to detoxify yourself with no contact. That breaks the addiction and the trauma bond. I wanted to say this to you too, that, well, if you have to choose between staying and suffering and leaving and suffering, at least if you take the road of leaving the narcissist and suffering, at least there will be a light at the end of this road that you cannot see at first, because you are in the middle of a fog at night. And if you keep on with the narcissist, you're in the middle of darkness, and you're headed to a hole, to a black hole. You are headed to I forgot the word, you know. When there is you reach a canyon, and in the canyon there's a big, very deep, profound hole. That's where you're headed if you stay in a relationship with a narcissist. But if you leave, you're gonna suffer too, but you will be in the middle of a foggy night. But there is a light around. that will show up, and you will see that light one day, and you suddenly, it's going to be very sudden, you're going to realize if you take your medication for depression and other problems, if you do therapy, if you go no contact, suddenly you realize, my God, oh, everything's bright here. That's what you get if you take this road of leaving, abandoning the narcissist. I saw a quotation the other day. They caught my attention. It says the quickest way to get someone's attention is to not want it anymore. Then the narcissist throws us crumbles of attention just to make us stay. And then we think, my God, this is the best love, because the narcissist makes us starve. I was starving for affection, feelings, for contact and love that never came. But that's how that just to tie those two things together, when the narcissist figures us out, he gives us what we want. He knows what he wants after a while, and he uses that as a weapon to bring your defenses down during all the hoovering phase. So if the narcissist, for example, figures out that you like gifts, certain kinds of gifts, he's not gonna give it to you until it's necessary for him or her to give it to you, and he's going to give just crumbles of it, because okay, he knows that gifts are what you want in order to influence you and to win your good graces, your favors, your affection, and your uh, loyalty, and your uh, uh, commitment. And then he will, okay, it's very easy for the narc. Oh, she's mad at me, he's mad at me. I'm gonna offer him a gift, and I know he's gonna bow down, he's gonna submit, because that's what he or she wants. That's how the narcissist thinks. And then he offers us a gift, and we are trapped, we are addicted, we want that, and we take it, the crumbles of love, and then we think, oh my God, that's the best gift of my life. And narcissistic gifts are crappy. I'm gonna tell about this later, but I'm not the only one who thinks this. I know that. And he gives us crumble in order to keep us entrapped. And that's not love. That's entrapment. And if you try to leave, with luck, you get only the no contact thing, and yet the suffering because of the passion, the disillusionment, and the addiction. But then maybe the narcissist will, okay, you're gonna leave me? He's gonna fight you in battle, gonna fight a battle to get all that the narcissist can in terms of money. And you just watch what Eddie Murphy says in Raw, and that is gonna be clear. Well, I just wanted to say this. Come here and say this, that the narcissist figures this out very easily. And in order to control you and control me, he knows exactly what to give us when the time comes. Be aware of that if you are facing narcissistic abuse. Just to bring your defenses down, he is going to give what you like, what you want, and it's not going to be good enough for you. It's going to be just crumbles. But you, because you are starving, you're going to think you're getting what you finally getting what the narcissist promises you, which is love and commitment and loyalty. But don't be fooled by this. Be aware of this and try to and leave. Don't fall for this tactic. Thank you for your time. After I finished the video, I realized there was something I forgot to say, and that's to say that the narcissist has a very kind of scientific approach when he's to his relationship with us, because he studied us, and he studies us for a long time, and he tries to answer while gathering his information about us, in order to figure out what we want, what makes us tick. He discovers what, and that's one of the questions that you try to solve when doing scientific works. You gotta respond to what do you want to find out, and then the other questions, which are the open-ended questions, is how, when, where, what. I don't know if I forgot something else. How, when, I don't know if that's important. Where, who, and but in the case of this video, the important thing is that he does this. He finds out. He answered the question in his scientific approach. Okay, what that the person wants. He figures you out. He figures me out. Okay, he wants this. How is the best method to give this to the person? The answer: crumbles. The less the narcissist gives, the more we feel entrapped, and the more we're going to wait for more. And we're going to think, oh, this is the best person I ever met in my life. And then he can answer another questions like when. When is the best moment to give the crumbles to this person? Oh, if the person is a very if the narcissist finds that the person is very mistrustful of him, he might say, okay, I'm gonna give the crumbles when the person starts to give signs that she wants to leave the relationship. That's very, that's how you see the deceitful mind, the dirty mind, the premeditation in the narcissist's actions and mental manipulation of us. He figures out what, how, when, even maybe where. The place. He might choose even a place. Where is the best place to apply this tactic? For example, my narcissistic girl number 2, she used to apply her bullying sessions and humiliation at university. person. She used not to discuss it via text. She used to do it, her most hurtful comments, face to face. Where where am I going to cause the most damage? With my raging at university, face to face. She knew that. She figured that out. When, how, and it's very scientific. This is very scientific. Uh, thank you for watching, and I hope this is helpful.